Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've tried to record this video 3 times now, and I just get angry and I just start like going off on a rant. And when what I want to say is like just concise. I want to be concise, essentially. So I feel like we need to talk about this before we can continue with our regularly scheduled content or whatever. EA is being sold for $55 billion, and they're going to become a private company, meaning they don't have to respond to the pressure of their public shareholders, which could be a you or a me. It is now going to be Saudi Arabia. I can't fucking believe it. Yes, you heard that correctly. I'm sure everyone has heard by now, but I mean, just Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, Silver Lake, and Jared Kushner's affinity partners are buying Electronic Arts, and they are putting in 36 billion, and EA has to, make back the rest. Essentially, they're going to be 20 billion in debt, and they have to make that back. And I will briefly, hopefully this time, talk about how that is going to be a problem for people who still want to support EA in the near future. Okay, look, the Silver Lake and Affinity partners and all that, they have a small percentage of ownership for this deal. Saudi Arabia has, I think, over 90%, if I'm honest. And the Affinity Partners group is owned by Jared Kushner, who is the husband of Ivanka Trump. And that is a problem because the Trump administration has policies that go against LGBTQ rights and DEI and all of that. We saw that drama, okay? We saw it. It was not pretty. So EA is going to be owned by people who are closely related to people who do that nonsense. Okay, the biggest issue is the fact that EA is going to be owned by Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, they criminalize LGBTQ people, sexual activity between males, sexual activity between females, criminalize gender expression of trans people, and they impose the death penalty. I need you to understand that the people that are going to buy EA, they can impose the death penalty on LGBTQ people. They are not afraid to execute you. They're not afraid to do it. In fact, they have a record number of executions last year. 356 executions, breaking their prior record. Do you understand? Prior record. For a second year in a row, Saudi Arabia has had the highest record of executions. Now, they are saying that it is execution of foreign nationals for non-lethal drug crimes that surged their executions, but that does not mean that Saudi Arabia does not kill people for being gay, for being lesbian, for being trans. That doesn't mean that they don't do it, okay? If you want to do further research into that, you can. I'm just going to keep it concise because I do get very emotional over this topic, and I just wanted to discuss it for the facts that we know, and just a little like how at the end we'll talk about how I feel. Hopefully shortly, without ranting. At the end we'll talk about how I feel and what I plan on doing, because so far all of my content has been The Sims, and I don't want to be one of those YouTubers that don't say anything and just continue. I've been quiet because firstly, December was Decembering. Okay, those who are South African, they get it. December is a whole culture. Like, you were not working in December. But I've also been trying to see how this progresses, because I was hearing some Sims YouTubers saying that maybe it won't go through, we have to wait and see, so let's be approved by the board, all of that. But it was approved. It was absolutely approved, and EA themselves decided to release some articles. Well, the Sims decided to release some articles because they can see that we're upset. And I've been watching a lot of YouTubers that are covering this more extensively than I will. Please, I recommend like, for example, Not Malcolm or Pixelate, if you want to know full-on details about what's going on and all the drama with the Sims creators and all that. I'm just letting you know that I know what's going on, and if you don't know what's going on, I'm briefly updating you. I'm not telling you this is not a Spilling Sims kind of situation. Okay, so that's devastating. Okay. So obviously we were concerned because The Sims is a very LGBTQ friendly game. It's very friendly for anybody to play, actually, and it's just so natural, it's so easy, to play The Sims. It's just, I don't know. So their response, the Sims team's response to the concerns over the sale is to remind us of their values. Okay, that's great. That's not gonna do shit if you are owned by a government that kills people for being part of the community that you have been saying you want to protect and involve. That's the issue here. It's hard to not feel like it's a bit of hypocrisy, but at the same time, I will give it to The Sims. Since back in the day, they have been LGBTQ friendly. They have been. The sale has also frustrated a lot of people on The Sims team, you know, and it has made them feel some kind of way also. So I'm not blaming entirely The Sims. EA is the problem with allowing themselves to be sold. Okay, they have so many games. It's not just The Sims. They have so many games with LGBTQ characters and inclusivity and all that. So I don't understand this move if I'm looking at it from a values perspective. If I'm looking at it from my business honest degree perspective and I just want money perspective, it makes sense. Saudi Arabia has a lot of money. They offered to buy you and you said, you know what, I'm going to turn a blind eye to the fact that you killed the very people that I say I value. That's essentially what happened. It's money and it's greed. That's it. It's as simple as that. Let's not act like it isn't. And there are people in the Sims team that are being affected by this, who are also upset by this. It's not just the players. So they came out with this article just, you know, talking about their values, you know. I think this was their attempt at reassuring us. I don't feel very reassured, to be honest with you, that they're going... It's also tough because it's not The Sims itself that said, yeah, let's be bought by Saudi Arabia. It was EA. But I don't think it's working very well. The community is still up in fucking flames over it. So there is that. And then they released another article talking about, you know, updates and things to know about the future. And then again, they want to reiterate that these are the values: creativity, play, choice, inclusivity, and community, which is all good and well, but your company that you are a part of is acting in a way that shows that their values are more money, and it doesn't matter who is giving it to us, essentially. They say they're going to, you know, building a family of new experiences, okay? Single player life simulation experiences. That means, for those of you that don't know, The Sims 5 was told to us that they were going to be an online multiplayer type situation. Now they're telling us it's a single player thing that they're going to be focusing on. And they want to focus on The Sims 4, and there's not going to be a new edition. There's not going to be like a traditional Sims 5 in the way that we expected, which is not great. It's not great. We were excited about Project Renee because it had a lot of potential. But now that's not what we're getting. I think they mentioned somewhere that they're going to be focusing right now on a mobile game, which nobody fucking asked for. Nobody asked for. But I digress. Yeah, and then they just keep talking about, you know, how their foundation isn't going anywhere. Single player PC console experiences are part of the future. Then they give us a little hint to the new expansion that they have announced, which honestly I feel like is a bit tone deaf and in poor taste. It might have been worked on before the sale was a thing, but it's just because Saudi Arabia they have like princes and kings and all that, like they have like a kingdom type vibe. The new pack is essentially a kingdom royalty kind of pack. So it's like, no thank you. No thank you. They are trying to play test across multiple Sims products and all that, but I'm honestly not interested. Whatever they say about the future doesn't matter to me anymore because you decided to sell to Saudi Arabia and they are killing people for being themselves. Before I was ever introduced to LGBT and all of that and social media, you know how we are all connected now. Before I knew any of that, I thought, at my heart of hearts, I always believed in treating everybody equally as long as you're not hurting anyone, right? So for you to say you care about LGBTQ and you care about your players and that we are at the heart of everything, mind you, I'm pretty sure the CEO, you know, he signed off on all this nonsense. You know, EA knows that they're posting these things. You're allowing The Sims to tell us this, EA, when you know damn well you sold yourself out. You plastered your pussy on the sidewalk and now you're facing backlash and you're shocked. You're shocked? Guys, what? Anyways, so the community is quite, you know, upset about this, reasonably so. Personally, now moving on to like a concise. Can you tell I'm struggling with this? I'm really struggling with this. The Sims has been a part of my life since I was 9 years old. Okay, I'm 26. Well, I'm turning 26 in April. I'm turning 26 this year. The Sims has been a really big part of my life and a big way of coping with difficult days, difficult phases. You know, you could just immerse yourself and, you know, live in a world where everything is silly and it's lighthearted and it's fun and you can just not worry about the world. And I, a few years ago, was inspired and I found the push to. I've always wanted to make YouTube videos. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. That's still a thing I want to do, you know, but I found the inspiration to share and the courage to share my Sims play with, you know, the internet and find some friends. I just want to have friends to talk to about the Sims and share about my Sims and what they're doing, because when I talk to bless my boyfriend's heart, when I talk to him about what my Sims are doing, it's like, yeah, of course he's interested because it's something that I care about, you know, but he doesn't know the Sims like that, like the ebbs and flows and like the, you know, he's played it before, but he's not as deep in it as I am. And I just wanted to find people who love it just as much as I do and care about what my Sims are doing, you know, kind of like we're playing together. That is what I wanted, to make friends who care about the Sims or who love it as much as I do. So obviously I'm not a large creator right now anyways. I'm joking. Obviously I'm not a large creator and I'm not someone who has huge influence or have a huge influence yet, but I still feel like I need to say something. I've seen these Sims creators that I watch, they've made the choice to leave the EA Creator Network, to not talk about or advertise any future packs. They've already actively decided they're not going to do that, you know. I eventually wanted to be able to buy new packs that came out, play them with you, and, you know, share my thoughts about them and all of that. I did eventually want to do that when I had the means. I'm just a normal player. I'm just a normal gamer girl. I buy games when I have money for them. And games are expensive. The Sims is expensive. So obviously right now, or in the last few years, I haven't been in the position to do that. But now with this sale, and with the nonsense that just the Sims itself is doing with, oh, there's not going to be a Sims 5 in the traditional sense, and it's going to be the Sims 4 but just slightly better kind of nonsense. I feel like it's the end of an era, guys. Like, and it makes me really sad, because I would always look forward to new packs. And there was a time when every pack that came out, I was interested in buying. Now there's so many packs. Not all of them work properly. They introduced kits, which is just a bunch of nonsense that could have been added to packs, but they just probably didn't want to because they wanted to make more money. Seeing the greed, the underlying greed, that probably, maybe the Sims team doesn't have control over that. I don't know. I'm not in it, but I can see that EA is greedy as fuck. So I'm sure they kind of forced the Sims hand, maybe. I don't know. Seeing all of that has really made me buy more sparsely. I don't know if that's the correct way to use that word in this context. Essentially, long story short, after I saw the SpongeBob pack, I was like, you know what? I think I'm done with this game. Hey, I think I'm done with it. I have packs that I'm interested in, that I have bought, you know. I buy the packs and stuff that I feel like will add more value to my game and things that I enjoy. Some people don't like occult things, so they don't buy the occult packs. I personally love that shit. I'm a woo-woo spiritual girly, okay? I love that shit, okay? Fairies, vampires, werewolves, scaife, okay? I haven't used them in my Legacy Challenge or anything, because I don't know why, but I haven't used them, but I digress. What I'm trying to say is, I've invested a lot of money into making this game to tailor it to me and what makes my playing time, even whether it's in my private time or recording it for you guys, what makes it worth it. And I've invested a lot of money in packs that have made this game feel whole for me. And for now, I've been wanting to get back to filming, but this sale and stuff is really like gave me a skrik. For now, I will be continuing playing my game with the packs that I have. However, anything else that The Sims comes out with, that doesn't interest me. I'm not going to support EA and their new ventures. I'm not going to support The Sims' new ventures. I think this royalty expansion pack is the last one anyways, and then they're just gonna do updates and stuff, or they focus on their little mobile game or whatever the fuck they're doing. But when those new games come out and their expansions come out and all of that stuff comes out, I'm not gonna be there. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to play it. None of that. Because not only do you have a history of trying to sell us shit so you can make as much money, and the packs are not even working, you have sold yourself to Saudi Arabia, essentially. So EA and I are, nope. We've had a rough relationship anyways. So it's not like I'm completely like dumbfounded by the stupidity of EA in this sale. But I am a bit sad. I was hoping to eventually start playing other games. I wanted to establish myself as a Sims player and then eventually start playing other games that I find. But I might change those gears a little bit. Again, I pay for these games myself and I cannot afford right now. The economy is in fucking flames. So when I can afford a new game, I will play it with you. Okay, I like cozy type games, but I'm interested in games like Phasmophobia and stuff. So we'll see. I'm just scared because I'm gonna suck at them. that's the thing that scares me. I'm gonna suck at them at first. Everyone starts somewhere, but yeah. That's the tea, I guess. That's what's going on with EA. That's what's going on with The Sims, and that's what's going on with me essentially. I will be making Sims game videos. For now, I won't stop completely, I don't think, because I will be playing what I have paid for. I will be playing it. I just won't be investing more money into any new things that come out. So yeah, that is that, guys. I'm not a political channel. I don't talk about politics and shit because it's deep. It is deep, and I want my channel to be a safe space for whoever wants to watch. I don't want you to come here and then I'm talking about all the shit that's going on in the world. The reason why we play The Sims is to have a moment of peace. And I'm not going to take that away from anybody who wants to watch me because they enjoy hanging out with me and playing Sims. You know? So yeah. EA, this is my breakup video to you. You decided to betray a large amount of your consumers. And I hope you reap the consequences. I hope you feel it so fucking deep. I hope you feel it. Yeah. I don't know what this means. I don't even know if my investment is safe. Are they gonna keep these things? Are they gonna sell off The Sims to someone else? I don't know. But unless something drastic changes, like the Sims 4 franchise being owned by a completely different company and they do things properly and the quality of things and that, I'm not spending any more money on anything new that The Sims releases. Thanks. That's my stance. And yeah, this was a bit heavy, but I wouldn't feel comfortable uploading Sims games without talking about it. So yeah. I hope you do have a good day, despite the deep chat we just had. This is a reminder to stand strong in your beliefs, okay? If a company that you support does bullshit like this, or is found to do some raggedy ass shit, don't be scared to stand up against them because you're the one with the power. You are the one who's giving them the money. Yes, Saudi Arabia is, 55 billion, we're buying out your shares. Okay, but you still have to make games for us to buy. And if you don't align with us, or at least me, if the things you're doing don't align with what I believe in, I'm not going to give you my money. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.